we are going to go ahead with understanding what are various things we will be discussing today. It is said that a project well done is the half success. A project well written is a complete success. Now, let us first understand why writing a project report is important. Let us consider that you have invested a lot of energy, time, money, and your dedication, intellect, everything in a project and successfully executed it out. It might have taken 6 months to 6 years, you never know. And then one fine day, your project is completed. You have some snaps, you have some memories, and you know how it was executed, what are various challenges you faced, and then how you overcame those challenges, and then how you lead to the successful execution of it. But afterwards, what happens? If you are not available, other people come there and want to know more about the project that you had done or you conducted along with your team or solo. How would they know about that? There might be some people, if it is related to the field project, who won't be there at the moment of your project conduction. How will you convey the message of the execution, challenges, overcoming strategies, and the successful execution to them? So project report is the place through which you actually give a chance to other people. It's like a window through which people can witness your whole process of doing a project, from idea creation to the idea execution, facing challenges, overcoming with some strategies, and the successful execution. So project is a document that documents the overall procedure of the conduction and execution of a work done by you and your team. So that's why in this saying it is said that a project well written is the complete success. So there might be many people who weren't there at that time with you while doing the project are going to witness your whole journey of doing the project through your project report. That is why it is a very crucial document on which we have to invest energy, spend proper time, and articulate our own journey in a very well manner. So let us first understand what are various things we will be doing or discussing through this session. We will be understanding how the project report should be structured. So we will be undergoing standard structure of it, how to maintain clarity, coherence, and what kind of tone your project report should have. Then interesting part is I'm going to introduce you to multiple digital tools. Nowadays, being in the AI era, there are many softwares, technologies, various tools, which are going to make your project writing, report writing journey very easy and very thoughtful also. So I will be helping with that. At the same time, whenever we conduct any project, we invest our time and energy in researching about that particular subject. So we research about things or the works have been done by people previously or any kind of observation other people have. So that might be through the reports of other people who have done certain projects related to your work, or it might be articles, video lectures, some series of notes, or lecture series, live lecture series, or it may be some books also. But when we are referring to everything this out, it is very essential to give the credit back to the reference material. So today I am also going to help you out to understand how to refer the material and how to do proper citation, which is a very crucial part of any kind of project writing. May possible that some of you have not yet completed your doctorates or your MPhil degrees, or may not be introduced to research writing, may not have enough knowledge of writing references into various style sheets. So this is going to be very helpful for you. Okay, I am also going to take you through some visual tools for presentation of the project report. We'll also be applying the review and various strategies. This is the architecture of the project. This is how the project report should flow. it begins with the title page. The title page consists of your name. First of all, the title of your project, whatever project you have undertaken. I request all of you to start taking the notes because some of the parts may not be there in the PPT. I'm going to give a lot of references and additional information through this session. So in the title page, you have to start with the title of your project, followed by your name. If you are a student somewhere, a research student maybe, and submitting a project report, then follows your SRN, URN number or your roll number, followed by the department in which you are studying or to the department where you will be giving the project report. If you are an employee of some organization where you have to submit a project report, then you can write your name and the name of the department under which you're working. After that, you also have to write about submitted to. So again, I'm telling the structure. How does it follow? The title of the project, submitted by, submitted to, and the date. While writing the date, if it is certain, if it is a certain of a small duration, then you can use DDMMYY pattern. If it's a project of long duration, then you should prefer month and the year on the page, title page of the project report. Once this is done, then the second page that is followed by the title page is abstract. Now, abstract is something very important. It's like a mirror that talks about or that gives a glimpse of the journey you had undertaken. Now, understand, if you think that if I'm talking everything in the abstract, then why should I write the whole project report then? There is some understanding. Abstract is a key that generates the idea in the mind of the reader what this thing is about. At the same time, it also generates the curiosity among the people, among the readers, who are then keen into reading the project report further. It also helps in, it also plays the role of a bridge into idea generation, bridge between the title of your project and whole your project report. So by reading the abstract, the reader is able to understand your whole representation of the ideas throughout your project report. Whatever you might be writing on further pages, it becomes easy for the reader to understand after reading the abstract. So abstract is in the summary form. It is usually 1/3 of whatever document you have written. So the abstract for the research paper is usually into 150 to 300 words. For essays or dissertations or thesis, it is longer in length, like 1 page or 1.5 page. So it depends on the size of your project report. Now, there is no fixed and strict rule of how much should be the project report. Some people write a single page document, but I don't recommend that, because whatever I have written on the right side, all these elements should be measured throughout your project report. So it may flutter or flow from, let's say, 10 to 15 pages to 20 pages, max to max 30 pages, not more than that. Understand, it is just a report, not a book. It is just the highlighting, giving a glimpse, talking or giving a story about your whole project. So this abstract consists of a summary which talks about the objective. Objective means why you did this. Then you also have to talk about what you have done. Then you have to mention about the method. Method is the way in which you have executed the conduction of your research. So, how have you done? And then findings. Under the findings, you have to address the question, what have you achieved through this? So, what have you done? Why have you done? How have you done? And then what have you achieved? At least these 4 things should be addressed in your summary of the abstract. Then you have to go on to the next page, preferably. If your abstract is smaller in size, then it can be followed by introduction. So introduction gives a detailed background about the project you had undertaken. So it talks about the historical significance. It also talks about the rationale behind that. Why did you choose this topic? Why it is so relevant, and so on. At the same time, you also have to talk about the problem statement in the introduction portion. Now, whenever you can conduct any project, you have certain kind of hypothesis or certain kind of conclusion in your mind. So the problem statement can be anything that um, due to the vehicle pollutions or vehicle pollution is contributing greatly into the climate change, and the cities are the biggest contributors in this, as cities do have more number of the vehicles. So I might have done a project on creating certain equipment which can be put into the vehicle, so some filtered air will go out and there won't be, or the pollutants which are in the solid form or might be in certain other way may get filtered in some other way, right? So this might be a project that I might have worked. For example, we see a lot of pollution in the water bodies, right? People throw plastics, bags, garbage, and so on. The amount of ocean pollution happening today is a severe concern. So you might come out with the idea of making certain machine or an equipment which through the world collects the material or garbage from the water body, and it collects at certain one particular portion, so it becomes easy for you to collect the waste and dispose it out somewhere or recycle it out. So you might have worked on certain project to conduct some other kind of experiment. So that is how you have to talk about the problem statement, that what issue exactly you are dealing with, and then you also have to talk about the rationale behind that, that why is it important to study on this matter. Then comes this literature review. Now, literature review is what exactly? Literature review is reviewing the works done by other people which is related to my work. For example, I have worked on water pollution contributing into the climate change. Okay, I have taken broader area and some particular topic like how water pollution can be reduced, or how to clean water or recycle the waste that is collected from the water bodies. So that would be my project. So I'll research on various works done by people across the globe who have worked on the same or similar topic. Now, another question you may have, if people have done the same work, then why should I do it again? Or will there be any value if I am doing the same thing? Of course, there won't be any value addition. Then why we have to do the literature review? First of all, you have to tell how these works are relevant to your work. So you can talk about how intensive this matter is, which is worldwidely understood or is researched or discussed or studied. Second thing, you also have to show the gaps through the literature review, something that others fail to do. And through your project, you may give a solution to that failure. So how are you going to address those gaps? That might be your project. So that's why literature review is important. Review is important for two things. It is the review of the knowledge that is already in existence. You are creating a new knowledge, right? So literature review is a knowledge that is already in the existence. So for two things we do literature review. One, to reference others' work and tell that how those works are relevant to ours. And second thing, to identify and show the gaps those others could not cover. But through your project, you are going to cover those gaps. You are going to give solutions to those multiple gaps. And that is the success of your project. That would be the achievement when you will be answering or addressing these gaps through your project. And that's why literature review is important. While doing the literature review, you can access multiple types of materials, such as, of course, it begins with the scholarly research articles published in authentic journals, done or researched by scholars across the globe. You can also refer to the reports, project reports of the projects done by other people. Then you can also refer to video lectures or lecture series or physical lecture series, newspaper article, or article in some other book or something, a book chapter. You can also refer book. So it can be anything. You can also refer to the reports, survey reports, surveys such as, let's say, conducted by governments on male female gender equality or ratio, or survey on the literacy ratio in India, or survey on the uh, education as a basic right, if it is given equally in India or not. So that might be the issue that you are handling through your project, that children below 12 years or 14 years should get education as it is their basic right. And while doing this project, you are going to read some material, refer some material out, and then government reports generated on the government website can be your part of your literature review. So literature review does not restrict you through only qualitative material. It can be quantitative material also, in numbers, tables, charts, and so on. That's what I'm going to talk about in the methodology. Now, according to your size, choice, and type of project, you may conduct your project through different methods. Now, what is methodology exactly? Methodology is the way through which you have conducted a project, how you have executed a project. For example, for my project on understanding or showing or proving that education as a basic right to children is not given in India or in certain part in Maharashtra. Children are deprived of education. This is a problem statement that I have. And I have come out with some solution, let's say through a mobile app, or have created a website through which it will be easy for these children to access free education. I might have figured out various problems, reason behind that, that they are not able to access schools. Second thing, they are not able to pay the fees, or they are the earning bread and butter members in the family. So there might be multiple things, right? Reasons. So I can pick one of the reasons and I can try giving some solution through my project of creating certain website or some app. So some NGO, through some NGO, or as mobile phones, Androids are easily available everywhere now in India. So that can be one of the easy solution even for the children, that some offline app may help them out to at least get the basic education. So while doing it out, while understanding if education is equally distributed in India or not, I may go for the field work. I may go and visit these places, let's say some tribal place or some rural area or some area in the city where constructions are going on, and I'll check how many people are working there, how many children do they have, and what are their age ratio. So I'll choose the age ratio between, let's say, 2 to 14, and I'll check how many children are there. So I look at various locations in Pune, let's say, and I'll figure out that, okay, in various locations in Pune, in under construction areas or under the construction areas, the laborers are not able to provide education to their children, because first of all, let's say parents are not literate, or they do not have proper living facilities. Education in cities is very expensive. They are not able to provide education to them because of that reason, and that's why the children are not going to the schools, right? And same thing is, the awareness is not generated. But all these people do have Android mobile phones, because they are all staying in city and they have to use Android mobile phone for calling, or using, their parents are using some app for getting daily wages or something. So I will prove this out, that Androids are available. So free offline app may be helpful for these children to at least practice some basics, right? So for that, what I did, I went and visited places. So this is a field work that I did. Next thing possible, that I will do some quantitative study. Quantitative study is in the subjective form or textual form. I will study the reports given by other NGOs who have already done the surveys and found out that this is the ratio. These means children are there who are not able to get the education. And they have listed the reasons behind that. And I have picked one of the reasons and tried giving a solution by making some app, right? So what happens now? Now my study becomes qualitative. There is also another method of study, that is quantitative study. Quantitative deals with numbers, digits. For example, I might have visited some government website for male female ratio, understanding male female ratio, let's say for the report generated by election commission. And then I am going to use some table as a reference, or some um, kind of numbers those government has given in the form of charts, or anything else. And then I'm going to refer that out as my base of the study. So what I did here, I refer the numbers. So this becomes a quantitative method of study. Especially in quantitative method of study, the analysis part goes in a different way. When what we are discussing here is methodology is the way of your data collection. Methodology is the way of your conducting survey. You may also do the sample surveying for understanding, let's say, hygiene or basic uh, living amendments in the slum area. What I'll do is, I am not able to identify and visit many slum areas, especially, let's say, Dharavi, that is in Mumbai, is a huge slum. So what I'll do is, I'll locate only some locations, visit only those locations, and I'll do a survey, or I'll select only 100 people, have a word with them, and do interview, oral interview. And then whatever result comes, I'll conclude on the basis of those, which is largely applicable to other areas, slum areas also. It might be the same scenario, even in the other parts of the same slum. Now this becomes the interview method. Right. Now, data collection can also be through Google Form. That is a tool, another tool through which you can collect the data. And while collecting data through Google Form, you can give multiple choice questions. So when people are selecting it out, the results you will be getting will be in the quantitative. You will getting quantitative results. You will get numbers. Yes, no. 10 people said yes, and 5 people said no. So what is happening? We are dealing in numbers here. But if you are giving questions, open-ended questions with long answers, then you have to do quantitative study for that. So these are multiple ways through which you do the research. But you have to again understand that whatever methodology you are using for data collection and the kind of data you are collecting, while doing the analysis, you have to apply different strategies. For example, for qualitative data, you have to analyze on the basis of whatever answer given by the people. For quantitative data, you have to apply certain formulas. Okay, chi formula, for example, chi square formula. And then according to that, you get the results. And then on the basis of those results, you will do your conclusions. So that's what is methodology. After the methodology section, you go ahead with the data analysis and result. Whatever data I have collected, let's say I have collected data through the Google form, and then I get pie charts, tables, graphs in the Google form. If you have conducted any kind of survey or taken Google form responses, then you might have seen in the responses section, you get tables, charts, pie charts, graphs, and so on. So I may have to use those as it is and paste it in my report under the data analysis, apply the formulas, and do the calculation. So this is called the analysis part. Here I am not going to put any of my opinion. What am I doing? I'm just analyzing the whole data that is collected. It might be sample survey, it might be qualitative data analysis, it might be quantitative data analysis, it might be data collected through Google questionnaire or survey or field survey or anything. So on the basis of that, I will be doing the analysis. After getting the analysis, I have to go ahead with the next section, that is called discussion. Now, in the discussion section, I am going to talk about various elements I have found in the data analysis, and I have to talk about my observations. On the basis of the observations, I have to keep doing the conclusions, which will be the findings of my project. For example, I have given the app free to these many people. So let's say 500, I have selected, let's say, some 10 under construction areas, And I have introduced this application to the parents and children who are not going to school there. Okay, and I have trained the parents also that how this app can be used, and then how they can assist the children to go ahead with the worksheets or reading or listening. So there might be small videos through which children will at least understand, record their own videos, or might solve the assignments. Then what I would be doing, and I might have given 6 months space or span for this. And at the end of the 6 months, after students are responding on the application, I am going to get the data through my application as the in the form of results, which I will do, yeah, which I will analyze in the data analysis form. And on the basis of that, I'll do the conclusions or findings. That in the findings, I'm going to talk about that how successfully this project has, or this application has helped the non-school going children to at least learn the basics, and what are their achievements so far. It might be in the graph form or might be in the table form. I'll put my findings in the finding section or in conclusion section. So or in the discussion section. So in the discussion section, what I will be doing, I will be talking that, see, out of let's say some 100 students, 70 students successfully were able to identify the letters in English, alphabets in English. Then let's say some 60% students were able to at least speak some basic sentences, at least tell their name, introduce themselves, and so on. So I might have made videos based on that. So this is how result section is going to talk about what are the positive results those came out through the application, through this application in this particular selected under construction area or construction sites for the children who are not able to go to schools. So in this way, I'm going to talk about the findings in the discussion sections. Then I have to go ahead with the last section, that is conclusion. Last section, not practically last, but last in the writing, whole writing and explaining format of the project report. In the conclusion, I have to revise or repeat all the key highlights that I have had throughout the discussion of my project report before the conclusion section. So might be some part from the introduction, literature review, methodology, data analysis, discussion and observation, let's say, finding section. I have to summarize all the significant points here. At the same time, I also have to talk about scope and limitation of my study, or what are the things I could not cover. There might be some negative, outputs also of the project. Somewhere things might have failed. So, for example, in the case of literating these children, non-school going children, I might have faced difficulty this through this app. This app was not much effective on the children from 0 to 4 age or 0 to 3 age, because 2 to 3 age, because these children are too young for the handling app. They are very much dependent on the parents. Then I might have found out that if parents are not helping out, then children till let's say 7 years age are not able to do certain portion. So parent involvement is also required. So in next suggestion section, I can talk, recommendation section, I can talk that these apps can be made more independent. So even without the presence of the parents, children should be able to handle this out. And then we can figure out the strategies for those, and that can be another project then. So in this way, I'm going to talk about the achievements and the limitations I have had throughout my project. While doing the project, if you have faced any challenge, difficulty, then you can talk about that also in the introductory part or in the discussion section. And you also have to talk about how you overcame those. That's possible even in the conclusion section, that you can mention that how you face some major hurdle and then what strategies help you out to overcome that out. Or if you could not overcome that hurdle, then how that cause a problem or a trouble in your overall understanding or overall execution. So you can talk about that. Last but not the least comes references. In references, we have to give the credit to all the resources those we have referred, especially in the literature review section. Sometimes in the introduction section, while giving the background about certain project, we have to refer to some other works or some uh, historical factors. For that also, you have to give credit in the references. What would happen if you don't write references? If you don't write references and still you are citing others' words, or if you are referring others' work, then it becomes complete plagiarism, stealing of information, and which is a big no in any kind of standard writing. So we will learn through referencing apps how referencing can be done. Some of you may not have studied APA MLA style sheets or Chicago or any other OSCALA, let's say, which are the style sheets required to cite the information in certain way. I'll introduce you to certain application which will help you out. Then comes the last part, that is followed by references, that is appendices. In the appendices, you have to add on everything that is essential to understand the report better. For example, the pictures of the field, children's conditions, or I might have taken snapshots or screenshots of my application website or the reports those I was getting. At the same time, if I have conducted the Google form survey, then I have to put the questionnaire in the attachment. So in the appendices comes all the attachments. At the same time, I have to talk about the budget I have had, the money I received, the funds I received, the expenses I have had, attaching proper bills to it, and then I have to give the calculations that how I spend this money. If something is remaining, then what should be done with that is the latter part. But you have to do all the calculation. If you have spent extra, then you also have to talk about that in the bill section. So in the appendices comes everything that is additional, which is not covered in this flow of the report, but is related to the report itself. So all these things needs to be attached or added in the part of the appendices. I hope you have understood this better. This is the flow. Now, when we are writing, we have to make sure that this is some formal write up. So we have to be clear about few things. First thing, your writing should be very clear. There is no scope for ambiguity. Wherever certain kind of information is needed, please add that out. Wherever you find repetition is there, unnecessary addition is there, please remove that out. Try to be precise, use precise and simple sentences. Do not use long sentences flowing into 2, 3, 4, 5 lines without any pauses, commas. It's not required because these sentences are not reader friendly. It becomes difficult for the readers to handle these sentences. So make simple and precise sentences. At the same time, try to be brief while giving the information. Decide some equal proportion of how much will you be writing in introduction, how will you be focusing on the problem statement, how much should be your literature review, where you are going to focus more, that is on the analysis part and then finding part. You get that? So you have to maintain the proportion. At the same time, you have to be grammatically accurate. Understand, project report is something that talks about or that tells the story of something that has already been done, already completed or finished long back. So the tense that comes in the project report needs to be past tense for showing all the actions which have been done. And then present tense for current decision or statements you are making. And when you talk about the recommendations, then comes is the future tense. You always have to make sure that you are maintaining some tense consistency. Thereafter, you also have to make sure that you are using some transition markers. The language needs to be very professional, academic. It should not be informal, like colloquial. So you can use certain phrases like therefore, however, moreover, consecutively to connect your sentences with the next. There might be several paragraphs. You always have to make sure that these paragraphs should have some logical sequence. While connecting these paragraphs, you can use such kind of transition markers to maintain the coherence between these paragraphs. So there will be a logical flow. Avoid repetition or dumping of the data. Too much of the data will be overloading to the reader and they will lose interest in your report, or it won't be possible for them to get anything out of your report. No complicated language, no technical terms, no cliche, no jargons should be used in your report. Focus more on interpretation over description. So description, rather than giving you a subjective opinion, try to be objective. Focus more on the analysis and the results section properly. Wherever possible, always try to put the data in the quantitative form. Put tables, charts, graphs, pie charts. Okay, whenever you think the data can be represented in the form of numbers, rather than describing those in several pages. For example, while talking about male-female ratio that is changing in last 10 years, we better give the table rather than re-explaining it into paragraphs. Because reading paragraphs and then processing or consuming that information becomes difficult. I have given here example of how we write usually and how our sentences needs to be in the formal type of writing. The survey was conducted and data was collected from students. Many responses were obtained and analysis was done using Excel. Now here information is not properly executed. So how it should be? So after is showing the reframing of it. The survey conducted among 120 students. Now this is giving a clarity that what was your sample size. Revealed a strong correlation between feedback use and academic improvement. Analyze through Excel. So you also have talked about what are the correlation you tried testing here and what was your mode of execution. That is Excel sheet. So in this way, you have to give a clear clarity. We are going to now glance through certain technological tools which are going to help you out to go ahead with your all uh, this project report writing. It will make your life easy. So for planning, Notion, Trello is there. I am going to show only few because of the time limitation. You can explore more. You can take a screenshot of this particular slide and explore more. Referencing, for referencing, Zotero and Mandeley are great platforms where you can put just the details and it automatically gives you the citation or references. For writing, Scrivener is really good. MS Word gives you only limited type of suggestions. For editing, Grammarly, Quillbot are the great platforms. So wherever you find, sometimes what happens, we do not actually refer data from anybody's or copy it as it is from others' resources. Still, it shows under the plagiarism. So for that, it's very essential for you to do the paraphrasing. So for paraphrasing, you can either use Grammarly or Quillbot. Quillbot is rather useful because it gives suggestions, but there is another issue. As Quillbot or Grammarly are the AI tools, there is also plagiarism that comes under AI plagiarism. So if you copy it as it is without modifying with your own words, then that's gonna show the high kind of AI plagiarism. I have brought two samples here for you. Canva is a great platform for even their data wrapper. For Canva has interesting designs through which you can see various beautiful formats of writing the data. So it becomes visually appealing. Yet I'll suggest if you are from some formal organization, always better check what if they have any template, any standard format, please follow that out. If they don't have, then you can go ahead with trying some really good professional designs on Canva. Authenticate, Turnitin, that is Authenticate Now, are the plagiarism softwares. Even Grammarly also helps you out to identify and detect plagiarism, so you can rework on it. So now I'm going to show you Notion first. I already have opened some screens here. I hope it's visible for you. Okay. So this is Notion that we will be working on first. So this is the home page of Notion. So on Notion, you just have to create your own login account. There are certain platforms for which you have to download and have extension. Only then you can use those out. For everything, you at least need to sign up. So I have signed up in Notion to show you a sample. So once you sign up and open some document in Notion, you get here your name, the home page, and lot many things. And then you can open one page for writing something. So I'm writing on project. Okay, so I have put it out already, so we can start writing on project. I have kept it. So this is how Notion is going to give you the outline also of the project. Now this overview means the introduction part. Then goals means objectives, those we discussed. If you have a team, then names of the team members. So everywhere you can edit. Okay. Now what we are going to do is how Notion is used. I'll show you. So I have written a paragraph here that we have made some application which gives grammar suggestion to the editors with contextual guidance, and that has been proved to be useful for academic and professional use. So this is what I have given in the introduction. So let's say I have made some app which shows grammar corrections and contextual guidance, that how can you make your sentence better. So if I have written in a very simple language and there are some grammatical errors also. Now what I have to do is I have to select this paragraph. So I get lot of options here. Now I have to say ask AI. So when I ask AI, I have to choose here improve writing, and AI is going to give me some suggestions. Now AI is processing information, and AI has given me this sentence instead of my sentence. I had written the app made on the grammar suggestion to the editors with contextual guidance proved to be useful for academic and professional use. Now AI suggested me something else. The app provides grammar suggestions and contextual guidance to editors, comma, proving useful for academic and professional writing. So if I'm satisfied with this, okay, before you go ahead with this, you have to do certain kind of settings here that you have to, for example, let's say if I say add new, then you have to talk about how your task needs to be. And if you really want formal language, academic language, or anything else, you have to check out that. Okay, once app has given me suggestions, I have to say accept. Once I accept, the paragraph that has been suggested by AI comes in my report. So I can use this as it is. So this is very interesting. If you do not want the structure that has been suggested by Notion, you can go to the blank page as I shown you. You can say new page, a new task, and you can choose blank page and you can start writing here. For example, the same thing, we'll try doing it here. I'm going to use the same paragraph and I'll show how it works. Introduction, and I have said something here. And I have to now select the paragraph, and now I can ask AI. AI is going to give me suggestion. I have to say improve writing. AI is thinking, processing. And once AI gives me some suggestion, I have to say accept. Now see, in this way, if you are not much confident in English language writing, then these are certain apps which are going to make your life easy. Yet I recommend you do not completely rely on those. Always better cross check if it is giving you correct suggestion or not. Fine. So after that, I'm going to show you out Scrivener, another editing app. I have not logged in into it. You can explore. So here also you have to put the outline of what you want, and it helps you out to give the whole project report itself. So you can explore this out also. At the end, I'll try to give the links for all these application those I have shown. Okay, Mandelly is the software that helps you out with giving you suggestions for referencing or bibliography creation. Same is Zotero. So I have not created a login for Mandelly, but I have kept Zotero ready for you, so you can see how Zotero works. Okay, so this is Zotero. First, what you have to do is, I'll show you from the scratch. You have to Google out. Okay, hold on a second. You have to Google out Zotero. Once you find this out, Zotero, zotero.org, go on this website. First and foremost thing you have to do is you have to download it out. I have already downloaded. Once you say download, it asks you the options. If you want to download for Windows 7 or as the connector, add-on connector to your Chrome. So I have downloaded the whole app itself, and this app has added as an extension here. If you could see in extension box here on the right side, you can see Zotero connector. Now what you have to do is, now you have to search on your PC for Zotero. And once you open this out, the app opens. I have kept it open for you to save the time on. So this is Zotero, which is ready. Okay, this app is open. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to search some articles on Google Scholar. All of you know Google Scholar is a great platform for finding articles on n number of topics of our studies. So I have opened Google Scholar here and going to find articles which are on climate change as a broader topic. Or you can talk about, let's say, uh, compulsory education. Okay, compulsory education. Compulsory education means education is compulsory for children till a certain age. There comes a lot of books also, but I had to find the article. So I had to be careful. Does compulsory education lower mortality? So I don't know what that is. So I'm going to open that article here, and the article is open. Now, when this article is open, what I have to do is I have to click on Zotero here in the extension. Now I have to click on Zotero. Zotero is open. Now, first of all, I have to add this article in my library. So Zotero is showing out the details of this article. If you could see here, the article is already ready. Does compulsory education lower mortality? And I have to say done. And this article is added already in my library. Now, where to find my library? I have to, as I told you, open the application of Zotero in my PC. So once I open this, you can see I have added some articles here before. What I'll be doing, I'll trash all out first. I'll make this empty for you, so you will understand how to do this again. So I'm going back again. I have opened the article. I am opening extension from my PC. I have opened Zotero here, and okay, I suddenly closed Zotero, so it was not working. Okay, enable saving online library. Fine. So this is showing the article here. Once again, I'm going to try this out for you. Okay. So I have opened, and then this article will be added in my library. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to search for Zotero here. Sorry. I have opened the Zotero app. Okay, this application is open. And I'm going to go to my library in which I have added some items. I'm going to select the first one. Okay, 1 second. It's processing. I have selected first one, first article that we are just checking. Right click on that. And once you right click, say here at the bottom, second last, create bibliography from item. Now you have to select which style sheet you want. Usually in all academic and professional project writing or any report writing or research paper writing, even thesis and dissertation writing, we usually prefer APA or MLA. If you're in science stream, then Chicago. Go for the latest edition. That's always beneficial. So we have APA 7th edition. So I have selected this out. Other part is keep it as default. If you want to create citation, then click on citation. But here we want to create a bibliography. So I'm saying the bibliography. I'm saying going to say OK. Once I say OK, I get one document. So my document, I'm going to save the document on my desktop and I'll show you out how does it look. Once I say OK, the bibliography is going to get saved on my Word document. Now you may have question that then should I every time do it? You can select all those articles you have added in Zotero and create bibliography together. I'll show you first how does this look. Okay, I have to go back to stop the slide. Okay, untitled bibliography and see. Okay, I'm just going to close this out for a while. Okay, and here is the article and you can see the bibliography is created. So in this way, bibliography is created for 2 articles those I had selected in Zotero. So this is what is Zotero for. Same is Mendeley. Both help you out for creating your bibliography. If you're not an expert, if you find difficulty in handling these things out, then these things are great. Now, Authenticate, you need subscription for that. This is my own personal account through which I do plagiarism test. I rely on Authenticate more. That is Turnitin. So this is a very good tool for plagiarism check, and the reports of Authenticate are accepted by people across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the samples. Okay, Authenticate. So I already have added some articles here, and it shows the plagiarism report. So I have intentionally added 2 articles. Previously, there used to be only similarity reports, but due to now ChatGPT and other AI helping you out, there is also AI writing report. So what you have to do is once I am done with my report, I have to go and check for my plagiarism report. So it shows in this way and you go get the full plagiarism report. So whenever you are writing the project report, always better get the plagiarism test done, download the report and attach that report also under the appendices to show the authentic work that you have done. Now, if you can see, there is a 0 AI writing because I myself have written the whole work, but I had to cite some data information, and that's why it's showing 13% similarity. If you could see, there are some pointers like critical thinking plays a vital role in helping students. This is a very common statement. But if somebody else in some on digital, some article digitally available has used this out, it still is going to show you that this has been copied from a source. Fortunate part is if I click on this, it shows the source from where the similarity is found. So what I can do is I can go on this article, check this article again, use in Zotero, and then I can use the citation of this article. Uh, so my plagiarism gets less. You can also use Grammarly, where you can do the plagiarism test. Grammarly has another benefit, like let's say Grammarly helps you out for grammar check, spelling mistake checking. It also shows the live plagiarism test. So if you keep on changing certain words, paraphrase it out, it shows the changing in the uh, overall AI plagiarism and other stuff. I have kept one sample here. So it is going to show you out. I'm going to check AI and text plagiarism. So this shows the score. of how much percentage is the plagiarism done. So I have taken some stuff here from my other research article to show you out. Okay, it's taking time to load, but at the bottom of it, it's gonna show how much percent is the AI plagiarism and going to show the red line and other line. So now this has 29% of the resemblance. If I click on this, it's also going to show me how, if I have to um, keep changing the words, these green lines will go and my plagiarism also goes down. So this helps you out to paraphrase. Now to paraphrase, we also have another interesting tool that is known as Quillbot. Quillbot is a tool where if you have written in a very average way, or if you have copied text from somewhere and you want the language of that text to be changed, then you can use Quillbot as a paraphrasing tool. So under Quillbot, I'm going for paraphrasing. And what I will be doing is, let us see if it helps. But AI plagiarism does not go because I'm using another AI to lessen the AI plagiarism. But for other similarity plagiarism, you can use this tool out. So I have opened here Quillbot for paraphrasing my work, and then I'm going to keep the flow academic. I want the academic language. For that, you need subscription. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back to Fluency. Okay. So Fluency standard are free versions, those we have. So I'm going to put the text here and I'm going to say paraphrase. So Quillbot processes this out and changes certain words which help you out to save from complete plagiarism. Now, this is not recommended for complete plagiarism or complete copying of any article. If you have written something out and if still it shows under plagiarism, even you without copying it out, then this tool will help you out. If you could see, it has changed certain word. For example, in diverse context, it has said in a variety of circumstances. The words it uses are different. So I'm going to show you out if it works in Grammarly. So what I will be doing, I'm replacing this paragraph completely. And let us see if plagiarism goes down. And yes, the plagiarism has gone down for AI similarity and it shows 28% now, if you could see here at the bottom. And the green lines are gone. So in this way, you can use Grammarly as one of the tool for grammar testing, for plagiarism testing. And wherever you find plagiarism, then you can use Quillbot for paraphrasing. Or else you can directly edit in Grammarly and then change your plagiarism. I was talking about Canva for templates. So this is Canva. I have my own account. You can log in and then you can simply say that give me project reports, and this is going to give you wonderful designs. For example, this one. Okay, wherever you find this crown, these are paid versions. So to make, as I told you, that these are the visual tools to make it more appealing visual. You can use this templates, ready-made templates, and just edit information in that. While editing, if you find lack of ideas, or if your language becomes average, you can go back in Notion and then ask AI to change the words for you. If you are not comfortable with the structure or the project report that has been shown, then because some designs may not be formal, then what you can do is you can go ahead and create your own uh, Canva. Create your own Canva design. It gives you simple plain Canva page on which you can type, you can put photographs, you can put some colors, simple designs and so on. And then you can go ahead with creation of your own project report. Okay, now I'm going to show you some sample documents. Okay, this is the empty template of project report. This is how it is visible and it is flowed. So first goes is the title page. You always have to make sure that if you are writing in MS Word, even if it is Google Doc, better you go to MS Word because it gives more flexibility for formatting and editing. Control all, go for Times New Roman 12 font. For the titles, 14 font. For the main title of the project report, 16 is okay. Even 14 is okay. Justified alignment, so it is equal from both the sides. 1.5 line spacing, so your project report looks very neat, clean, standard. Title page flows into the whole page if you want. If your project report is small, then you can write pointers one by one. So in the title page, as I told you, first comes is the title of the project, submitted by, submitted to, the name of the department, and month and year. These are the major things. Then goes is abstract or executive summary, which flows from 300 lines, 300 words to one complete page. It depends on the size of your project. Then goes is introduction and background, where you can give historical factors. Thereafter, rationale behind choosing your study, problem statement, and so on. After that comes objectives of study. Why are you doing this study? Why is it important? Then comes literature review, followed by research methodology, data analysis, where you put all proper data in visual representation, if it is tables, graphs, charts, and so on. And then you have to analyze the data. In the findings and discussion, you talk about various observations you have made while doing the analysis. What are your major findings? What are your major successes? If you have faced any challenges, then you can write those in the conclusion part. In the conclusion part, you have to summarize whole key points, major pointers, and you also have to give the recommendation for the further research which is related to this project, because every project has the limitation. Then goes this references. As I showed you out in Zotero or Manderly, you can you can just put the article, the details of the article, and it gives you ready-made bibliography. You just simply have to copy, and it gives you in Word form, MS Word format. You simply have to copy and paste it here in the proper way. Then goes the appendices, which is a very mandatory part, in which you have to add on all the essential details like bills, images, uh, thereafter screenshots, Google Forms, or any surveys you have conducted, the results of surveys, anything that is related goes in the appendices. Okay, another important thing, if you have anything like you are using some jargons or some abbreviations, then you have to make sure that you add on abbreviations as a separate page after the abstract here, as the third pointer. If you have certain words which are very technical, then you can make a page which is named glossary, where you can write all those words and the meaning of those words. So when somebody is reading, going through introduction, objectives, and other part, and fumbles at certain word, can go back to the glossary page and then read the meaning and continue with the further reading. So in this way, you have to make sure that your project report should be well structured. This is how a good project report looks like. I always recommend that you have to better do it justified, because that is how it looks beautiful. Only for the title page, you can use central alignment, because everything goes in the center and that flows neat and clean. And this is how references are written, but it depends if you are using MLA style sheet or APS style sheet. This is one sample. Then I'm going to show you out some bad formatting, like intro. What is intro? Please write introduction. Methodology and finding cannot be the next pointer. Now you are well aware about what is the next pointer throughout discussion. So after introduction comes before introduction comes the abstract. After introduction comes objectives. Then comes methodology of study. Then comes discussion, and then comes findings. So in this way, the report needs to be flown. Otherwise, it looks very messy. Okay. So this is how I have shown you how Zotero shows you the bibliography also. I think I have covered almost everything. Nothing is pending from my end. And thank you so much for your patient listening. And done, I guess, from my side.